the Arran Coastal Way. Totaling 65 miles, this spectacular long-distance walking route encircles the Isle of Arran off the west coast of Scotland, a place of unbeatable beauty. As one of Scotland's great trails, the way offers a feast for the senses and an unforgettable adventure as it traverses rugged cliffs and sandy beaches, tranquil forests and rolling mountain moorlands, with breathtaking views of dramatic coastal scenery around every corner. This is a walk that enables hikers to escape the pressures and strains of life in favour of experiencing a timeless landscape, home to epic wildlife, rich geological regions, and enchanting historical sites. I set out to walk the way in early spring. I had no real plan and no specific agenda. I simply wanted to fully immerse myself in the land known as Scotland in miniature.
My name is Abbie. I'm deeply passionate about all things wild and have made it my mission to explore and document many of the world's most stunning landscapes through human-powered adventure.
Each quest is totally unique. Some traverse exposed moorlands and rugged mountaintops. Others whiz through bustling market towns and historical cities. They see me dive down deep amongst marine life, follow world-renowned archaeological discoveries, and travel through some of the most tranquil valleys and mystical forests accessible only on foot. My goal is always one of discovery and awareness. Getting outside is now more important than ever before, with obesity rates maintaining record highs and mental health issues affecting over 1 in 4 individuals. In building an archive of films, I aim to leave you looking for a challenge, ready to break free from the monotony of everyday life and be inspired by nature enough to want to give back. Ultimately, I want to see you don your adventure boots and spend more time in the wild for the benefit of mental and physical health. I've realised that you don't have to do something crazy or radical to change how you feel about your life. You just have to get up and get out. I face my own trials with mental ill health and chronic pain, as no doubt you'll see on my travels. But alongside building a strong support network, getting outside and taking the time to reconnect with nature has helped me move further along the road of personal discovery. So, here's me inviting you to join me on my adventures as I explore this awe-inspiring planet. There will be hardships along the way, and we're not guaranteed to succeed. But it takes a brave heart and a courageous soul to commit to the unknown. Now all you have to do is decide that you want it more than you are afraid of it. Are you ready? Let's go!
Hey everybody, and welcome to another video and another Scottish island. Ah yeah! I have just landed on the Isle of Arran. It is mid-April. Is it mid-April? Yeah, it's mid-April. The sun is shining. It is the most beautiful day here on the Isle of Arran. That's the ferry that I just caught this morning across from the mainland. It was about an hour journey across, really easy. I booked my ticket last night and just sleepwalked onto the ferry this morning. And my plan, the reason why I am here, is to walk my first trail of the 2024 season, and that is the Isle of Arran Coastal Way. So it couldn't be simpler. Basically, I just have to walk around the island, keeping the sea on my right, because I'm going to go in an anti-clockwise direction. So I'm looking out over Goat Fell right now, which is the highest peak. There's a wee bit of snow on top at 823 meters above sea level, I think. So my plan is to yomp up there today. But I am going to just take this entire journey very steady because I'm fighting a little bit of a chest infection, and it's taken me a few attempts to actually get this out without a coughing fit in the middle. But I'm also taking my time on this journey. I'm going to walk it in 5 days. That's my plan. So that's an average of 13 miles a day, and I really do think I can manage that even when I'm feeling quite under the weather, and also I haven't quite built up my trail legs for the season yet. This is the first trail. So as always, I'm bringing you folks along for the journey. Let's see what we can see. Maybe we'll get to experience some fantastic marine life along the way. Hopefully the weather will hold out for us, and we can find some nice wild camping spots on our journey as well. So without further ado, let's hit the trail.
With the sun shining bright, I turned north, leaving the ferry terminal behind in favour of the main street of Brodick, one of the largest villages on the island. It was a vibrant place, home to many independent shops and eateries, and for walkers arriving on a later ferry, certainly would have been well worth an overnight stay.
So this is what we're going to be following. Nice and easy, eh? Let's go. Up there. Well, we're leaving Brodick behind, and other than my chest infection, the only thing I'm a bit grumpy about is I forgot my binoculars. There's going to be so much to see here, so I'm just going to have to squint like this and pretend that it makes me see better. But I've just got this very small stretch of sand here, and it's reminded me that I need to check the tide times here on Arran, because there are a couple of coastal sections where I need to be aware of the tide, and I have an OS map of the entire island, so worst comes to worst I just reroute, but I'd rather not get washed away into the ocean due to my unpreparedness. And the simple truth is, I've literally just read the guidebook on the ferry, so I know very little, and I'm just hoping that the island is going to teach me whatever it wants to teach me and reveal its secrets as we journey around its shoreline. Look at this gorse. I think it just adds to the surrealness of this. Coming from a storm yesterday to this golden yellow, and it smells so much of coconut as well. Welcome to paradise, folks. I cannot describe how beautiful this is. And here we go. You can't miss that sign, can you? Goat Fell. That's where we're going. That are we. In the gorse jungle, the mighty gorse jungle, Abbie walked the way, oh way. In the gorse jungle, the mighty gorse jungle, Abbie walked the way, oh way, oh way, oh way, oh way. Okay, so we've got this really cool little workshop area. So there's a leather workshop, there's artists' galleries, there's ice cream. There's ice cream. And there's also the gift shop for Brodick Castle, which I'm hoping we will be able to see sort of from the summit, or at least from the path looking across. I've caught a couple of glimpses of it from the coast so far, but a bit too far away to film. And anyway, this is the track to Goat Fell. So this little sign here is saying to summit and back allow 4 to 5 hours. We'll be the judge of that. But also, it's not like we're coming back. We are, but in 4 to 5 days. So I think they need to change their time frame. But anyway, it's exciting to be heading away properly now. I keep saying it, but now is properly from people and from buildings and the road and up into the hills.
The trail took me past the Arran Mountain Rescue St John's base, which served as a reminder that the jagged mountains into which I was headed were not to be underestimated.
100 metres on, and there's a coup. Of course there's a coup. Taking in the view. Oh, Arran, you're spoiling me. Thank you.
If, when on the way, you're lacking the sunshine that I was having, it's worth noting that there is a low-level option to skip Goat Fell and stay on the shoreline. For me though, despite the icy winds, up was my direction of travel.
Look at this, folks. So already we're getting views down over Brodick Harbour and Bay and across to the mainland. Flipping bonkers. Wow, that is definitely starting to look slightly imposing from this angle. Short but sharp. Should be fun though. Getting there. There it is. There's the summit. 873 metres above sea level. Goat Fell. Highest point on the Isle of Arran and highest point on the Arran coastal way. Here we go. Boom. Top of Goat Fell. Wow. I mean, that's some wind, but that's also a phenomenal view. It's just spectacular. You can't beat getting high on a mountain on a day like today. Yes, it's blustery, but the views are unequivocal. It's beautiful, it's just beautiful. I'm chuffed a bit.
Looking down towards Brodick and the coast, I already felt a huge sense of achievement. If this was the beginning of the Arran Coastal Way, what lay ahead for me to discover?
So we came up this path and I want to go over that one there on that little ridge. I can do that. So, I haven't really filmed on the way down because I had a very important phone call. This is my first trail of the season for 2024, and in 1 week's time I have a pretty major operation. So the phone call was just about that. It was quite difficult having it in between the gusts of wind, but with that I've now made it to my junction point, and this is where we wave goodbye to the path that we took up and we head down to the coastal path. Yeah, so this is the path we took up, and we're now splitting off in a this way direction. Woohoo! You know, I have to admit, that is a really impressive mountain. As an experience, really just second to none. And it's nice because, you know, you're sort of introduced to this whole backpacking scene with quite a formidable challenge, as in, like, maybe just me, but first backpacking day of the season, and you have 800 plus meters of ascent straight off the ferry. There she is. Wave goodbye as the clouds start to come in. Dun, dun, dun.
So I thought it might be helpful for you to know that I was navigating using the Hiker app. You can see I've downloaded the whole of the Isle of Arran offline. Right now I'm on the 3D mapping software that they've got. You can see the top of Goat Fell somewhere around here. Here it is. Ta-da! And I was also using the 3D mapping in conjunction with the OS map, which is this one. That'll be familiar to many of you. and the Harvey map as well. And what that enabled me to do was be as equipped as possible with information for finding places that could be good for wild camping. So I was aiming to get to North Sannox initially before looking for somewhere to wild camp, but as I was studying these three maps, the satellite 3D, the Harvey and the OS, I sort of started to notice Glen Sannox, and that's where I set my eyes on as a potential wild camping spot. But first, let's get back to Burn.
Let's go.
It was a magical experience walking alongside Burn, with waterfalls and water slides appearing around each new corner. Actually, all around felt like wild lands, from the pine forests and moorlands to the expanse of the Firth of Clyde that lay ahead.
So there's Goat Fell up there. Oh, where do you live? Underneath Goat Fell. Oh, that's rather nice. Right, bye Goat Fell. See you around, bud. On the road we go. Hello, ocean. Nice to see you. It is extraordinarily peaceful down here. Now that we're out of the raging wind, I feel like my head is just like pounding from the intensity of it. Some of those gusts. Whew. Anyway, the houses here are really, really lovely. They're quaint, they're individual, they're characterful. And I just have to follow this road now all the way to Sannox, which is where I'm hoping to wrap up for the day. So it's nice, just easy walking, plod along, breathe, reflect, digest.
The walk along the road offered me my first experience of the quieter side of life on Arran, as I passed through Corrie with its endearing harbour and famous Corrie cleats. The buildings sparked my interest too, with many boasting rich red sandstone which was once quarried here. These quarries, alongside a limestone quarry, provided work to villagers. The way then passed the Corrie Hotel, built in the 1850s, that was pumping out alluring smells of food that I had to fight really hard to resist.
Here we are then, just arriving at Sannox.
Once at Sannox, I started to keep an eye out for potential wild camping spots.
We've got Glen Sannox, so you can hear the sound of water. Maybe I can make it work up there a little bit. You know, let's go take a closer look. This area was shaped by immense glacial activity 8,000 years ago. A succession of deep ice sheets gouging out glens, carving mountain ridge, tearing up and depositing softer rock in the slow progression southward. Very cool. I actually was expecting wild camping to be quite difficult because it's not just about finding somewhere to be stealthy, even though I am allowed to camp. It's about finding somewhere with water, and what with it being a coastal path, the water is generally brackish. So I anticipate having to walk inland a little bit each day. We have a little cemetery here. I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but like, what about camping there? I mean, I can get water by jumping the fence. That is a bit ridiculous. How am I thinking that? Weird. Actually, it comes from a conversation with my dad. He was talking about, but why would spirits occupy graveyards? There's nothing to do there. Everyone's dead. And I actually really like that. It's a very refreshing perspective. So, you know, nice flat ground. Worth thinking about. Hey, sheepos. Can you tell me where's a good place to camp? I don't know. Wherever you want, mate. Thanks. Wow. That's a bit special. Look at this. You know what, folks? I might have actually done it. I might have found myself somewhere really nice to camp. What you can see is we've reached the Glen Sannox footpath sign, and there's just tons and tons of flat ground. I can pitch anywhere here, and then So long as I can get down to the water to get water, then I'm pretty good. How did I land this, man? I mean, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's natural bog oil. But either way, I'm going to filter the water. So I'll just hop, skip and a jump, have a little wish wash, and I'm going to plonk my tent up here. Happy days. And there you have it. Tent is up, nice and tight, pitched into the wind, mountain views. What more do you want? Whew. Well, now that the tent is up, I'm realising just how tired I am. And when you're tired, you get cold. So now I just have to keep moving and get on with the evening's chores. So what I want to do is get my boots off first and foremost, filter water, have a little wash, which is going to be nippy, but then, blimey, that is strong wind. But then I should be good. Yeah, I should be good. This is going to be an interesting night. Look at how he's bellowing. Wow, the wind's changed direction slightly actually. Is what it is. Dinner time. I have got a tent meals tonight, which is essentially a dehydrated packet of food, 500 calories packed into 128 grams. And what I love about this is A, it's less plastic than most dehydrated meals, but also it is just whole ingredients. You know, it's so important to be properly fueled when we're doing backpacking trips. Fuel is just one of those macro things that we really have to pay attention to, and eating wholesome, nutritious food as much as we possibly can. It's full of nutrients, fiber, protein, carbohydrates, good fats, and that's what I really like about tent meals. So I really do recommend them. Plus, they taste great. And voila! Leave no trace at its very best. Just don't want to forget mistakes. They curve around. Oh, too good, too good. Wow, isn't that spectacular this morning? Even with the overcast sky, it's stunning. This is Scotland, people. I love it. Isn't it bonkers how, look at this tree, it's growing out of the rock. What are you doing? You know there are easier places to thrive, and these ones up here just perched on the edge. This is insane. 1 mile on and we're arriving at North Sannox, and I'm just trying where possible to sort of observe wild camping spots. So I would have been fine for camping last night. There's plenty of grassy spots here, and there is a river coming through, so if I just head upstream then they would have got some water. But again, it's not super tucked away. All the camper vans are here, So it's just a matter of preference really. And I was just concerned about the wind. I was feeling exposed on the coast and I wasn't sure how that was going to go down. Pretty happy with my spot last night.
Unlike in England, the Scottish Outdoor Access Code and Scottish Land Reform Act of 2003 allow the use of lightweight tents in small numbers to be used on most land. If you're new to wild camping in Scotland, it's well worth reading into the Scottish Outdoor Access Code to ensure you are camping responsibly and safely.
Folks, there's a red squirrel just there on the grass. Oh my goodness, there's a red squirrel just there on the grass. Someone's car door scared it. Disappointed. Anyway, North Sannox. I've just taken a minute to pause and eat an apple, and proof is in the pudding. This is all of my trash from the last day. Carried, packed in, packed out. Leave no trace, kids. I've decided to pick some wild garlic. I have cheesy mashed potato for dinner tonight, and wild garlic would spice it up quite nicely. You can see it's been growing in abundance here. It's really, really nice. And then this is the stuff I'm looking for. One of our favourite things to do is to take the buds, wash them with water, and then with that water coat them in flour and fry it. And all my life, it's good stuff. Just saying. I'm doubting if that's enough. I'm gonna go get more. We are just arriving at the Fallen Rocks landslip. I'm excited to see what this is like. It's a lot of rock, that's for sure. And the wind-swept coast stretching out into the distance. Nice. I'm enjoying this stretch of walking so much. I mean, it's quite windy and exposed, but it's just the constant sound of the sea and the different seabirds passing on by. I think many of them are really willing the sun to come out, and so am I. But I have to say, I'm also fascinated by the views over the mainland. I mean, my family is just over there. 13 miles, that's it, that divides me from the mainland, and Arran from the mainland. And you can see the peaks and summits, the glens and valleys. It's really quite a sight to behold, and it's great because it's just one of those things that helps you put life in perspective. We all need a bit of that every now and then. It's really nice when you get this mixture of deciduous woodland just hugging the coastline. It's rugged and gnarled trees, full of character. We've reached Duchess Anne's salt pan. It rhymes, it's quite fun. So there's the remains of these ruined buildings from the 1700s and the 20-year lifespan of salt panning here. We have building number 1 here. It's just shambles really, there's not much left, is there? But then I suppose it was quite a while ago. It's always just fascinating how nature reclaims things. And the second one is just over here. Let's go and have a look.
Leaving the second ruin behind, I came upon my first Arran Geopark sign. Geoparks are places where landscapes with outstanding geological heritage are used to support sustainable development, achieved through conservation, education, interpretation, and nature-based tourism. Arran is actually an aspiring UNESCO global geopark, of which there are only 218 around the globe, celebrating links between geological heritage and all other aspects of an area's natural and cultural heritage. Now, Arran is treasured for the fact that you can literally walk through time across the landscape, with the oldest rocks dating to around 540 million years ago.
think we have a cave here in the rock side or in the hillside to check out. Now it's definitely not the required time for an earthquake. Let's go and have a little look. Oh. Cave. Actually, now that I'm walking away and I'm not turning around, it's not enough for me. I think that's called the picture cave because there's pictures of like boats and some writing on the wall. I don't know how odd that is. My guidebook doesn't specify. If I knew how odd it was, maybe I'd turn around. For now, my legs seem to be carrying me forwards. Slow going this, but it's good fun. Huh. Beach. What? It says North Sannox, exceptionally difficult, forget it, you have been warned. Some noob has written that on there. I wouldn't call that exceptionally difficult. People and their opinions, you know. It's like, keep them to yourself, they don't want to hear about it. How about we encourage folks who are kitted out and prepared? Maybe someone got hurt. Maybe the mountain rescue are out here a lot. I do not know. And now we're back in paradise with this giant boulder. That'll give you quite a headache. And on this lovely beach. And the sun's come out. So I'm going to Loch Arran, right? It's the northernmost village town thing on Arran. And I have decided I'm going to stay there. It's about halfway through my day today, but I'm still going to do the entire day. What? I hear you ask. How are you going to do that? Good question. Well, basically, my plan is, depending on when I arrive, to get a bus. So the reason why I've decided to stay there is because I'm finding the wild camping looking really difficult where I'm hoping to get to. It's steep, it's coastal, well, there's a road. That's basically all I have to work with. And that's fine, and I know I would find somewhere to pitch up, but I'm really just trying to keep an eye on my chest and my lung health right now. And tomorrow it's due to be very, very heavy rain all day. And so, as much as I would love to camp this evening, like I really genuinely would, it's set to be a very nice evening, I've decided to book the youth hostel at Loch Arran, and my plan is to either get there and then continue walking to Pirnmill, which is where I was due to stop for the day, and then get a bus back, or get there, get a bus out to Pirnmill, and to walk back again to Loch Arran, which is my preferred option, because then I don't have to be like, oh, where's the bus? Yeah, because it's just kind of done. So right now I'm on schedule for either option, and I'm just trying to like allow myself to sit with it and be like, cool, yep, I've made this plan. You know, I definitely could push myself to wild camp and squeeze in a little spot sorry, and maybe limit water, I don't know, yada yada. I'm sure it would have all worked out fine. It always does.
Rounding the corner, I came upon a site of Hutton's Unconformity, the name given to various notable geological sites in Scotland identified by the 18th century Scottish geologist James Hutton. These are places where the junction between two types of rock formations can be seen. Essentially, it's where rock formations were created at different times by different processes and they adjoin. This outcrop is possibly one of the most historically important geological places in the world, as it was crucial to forming the modern understanding of geology and the age of planet Earth. I'll be honest, at the time of filming I struggled to understand the concept and therefore didn't manage to film the necessary rocks and angles. But this is the spot where Hutton had his brainwave anyway.
There it is! Happy days. I have to walk all the way around. There's the castle. We'll go and look at the castle. Love a castle. Castle, sorry. And there's the pier, and the Cormac ferry goes from here to Tarbert and a couple of other places as well. So My plan's to go over there because there's a sandwich bar and I would really like to get a coffee. And then here, what's this? This is information. Yep. Cool. Keep our eye out for seals since the tide is out. Oh my gosh, there actually are seals. No way is that a seal. Is that a seal or is that a rock? Oh no, what is it? I think it's a seal. I'm never leaving. Oh my gosh, people. There's actually a lot of seals. I really love seals. I went diving with seals last year at Lundy Island in the Bristol Channel. It's so good. Look at them. Oh, I like seals a lot.
For those of you who love seals just as much as me, there are actually two types of seals that live in the UK. Common, also known as harbour seals, and grey seals. Loch Ranza is actually known as the Loch of the Seals, and I couldn't have been more delighted at this discovery.
Bye, seals. I love you, seals. You made me very happy, seals. Meanwhile, in Arran, look at those mountains. It is a glorious day. So here's the castle. We will take a closer look at that later when we return here. Past the hostel. Now to get coffee. Woohoo! Also the bus is probably going to go past me any minute now. 15 minutes. That's my friend who said hi when I was on the phone, but he watches my videos and he's cool. I hope this makes the final cut. So here's the ferry, and the plan is to get the sandwich before all of the ferry people arrive. Run! I'm not running, that's impossible. Don't be daft. Oh look, as fate would have it, there is the bus that I was going to catch. Clearly not now. Bye then. Let's go here instead. That I would like to work with that. And then sandwiches. Oh, it smells so good. So do I go cumin, roast sweet potato, black lime and pomegranate molasses, or spiced cauliflower, baba ganoush and crispy shallot? Oh my life, they're too good. Huey! Hi Huey! Oh, I like you, Huey. Huey's quite big.
He's very big.
How old are you, Huey?
He's 7.
Oh, 7
And
years.
his legs are twice as long as they should be.
Oh, Huey!
But we're not holding that.
You've just got to own it, buddy, hey?
Yeah.
Right, I have coffee, and I do indeed have a sandwich. I went for spiced cauliflower. Absolutely buzzing. Look at that bad boy. I mean, if you're gonna have a sandwich, this is the way to do it. So there we go, sandwich devoured. My decision has been made to stay on the road rather than head up the hill, which is really quite the lazy option, I won't lie, especially because we have a huge amount of road walking ahead of us. But there's just something so nice about these roads, and I just relish the calm that they provide. And I think after that walk this morning, that was a fair amount of higgledy-piggledy going, so I'm quite happy to just stomp it out on tarmac and make sure I arrive in 3 hours time and get the bus, because I just don't need any stress right now. I'm really feeling the the satisfaction of the journey so far. You know, 5 days, 65 miles, this is not a long hike. And what's really cool is basically every day there's going to be new things and new transitions. And this is indeed a very prominent one. So we are leaving the northernmost point of the island. We are leaving the Firth of Clyde, and we are joining and walking alongside the Kilbrannan Sound. We have totally different views. We're heading onto the western side of the island. The eastern is said to be much wetter than the west. I don't think that's going to play out quite as planned. But it's really exciting just having all these new perspectives and things to learn about as I'm walking along the way. So it might be a little bit daft for me to be choosing road walking when we have a lot of it to come, over climbing the hill to look back and sort of wave goodbye, but here I am. I'm making all sorts of decisions on this trip. It's just happening. It's the way it is. Right, let's get to Pirnmill. I still can't say it. And make sure I get that bus back here. I'm really looking forward to that.
A few miles further on, and I reached the 12 Apostles, a quaint row of fishermen's cottages, each built with a differently shaped upstairs window. The theory behind this architectural oddity was that a wife in urgent need of her husband could light a candle in the window, and the fisherman would see it shining and could return home. As romantic as this sounds, the cottages actually remained empty after being built, as the intended residents were farmers tragically forced from their homes during the Scottish clearances in the 1800s, and simply they refused to move in.
Well, this is definitely not prime wild camping territory. Sheer rock, beach, ocean. Wow, look at this. Just a random little graveyard tucked on the side of the road. See, if you're in a car, I bet you wouldn't even notice that. That sun is warm and I'm loving it. It is actually really pleasant walking this stretch of road. It's just nothing like anywhere else in the country, if you ask me. It's open, it's vast, the views are second to none. You've got the sea with the marine life, you've got the livestock every now and then, the wee baby lambs, so cute. It's lovely, it's just really pleasant walking. So the distance is actually going by quite quickly, but not, because I keep stopping and looking at things. I'm just letting my mind wander. It's so good for the soul. This is what we need. So basically just stopping by to say I'm feeling pretty happy. There's a good campsite. Their lawn. Here we are. Pirnmill. That is good stuff. Just need to find the bus stop now, which is at the War Memorial, and then that's a wrap. I'm feeling pleased with my decision because other than like parking bays, there has been very, very minimal wild camping opportunities and very little water as well. So I think you'd have to sort of have a less comfortable night and just on the side of the road. But I'm really yearning for a night in my tent, and of course I've booked the youth hostel. So what I'm going to do is get the bus back and go to the youth hostel and ask if I can change my booking to tomorrow so that I can get the bus back from Blackwaterfoot to the youth hostel, have somewhere dry after a wet day, because I've just sort of realised it's a bit daft having a dry night tonight when I'm not all wet and damp and needing to protect my lungs. It's only really just dawning on me and I feel a bit stupid. And then I could camp at a campsite or wild camp somewhere up by the village. So there's my plan now, ever evolving as always. See this three-cornered leek just growing on the side of the path. It's kind of like a cross between snowdrops and wild garlic. Nice stuff. Quite easily identifiable actually from the flower, which has it's triangular in stem. It's kind of fun stuff. And if you just break a little bit of the tip, it smells of garlic. Or onion, actually. Onion, not garlic. Spring onion. Ugh. Good stuff. Ah, don't you just love spring? I found the bus stop. I was just checking. First I panicked. I was like, oh, that's wrong. And then I was like, no, this side. All I did was download the schedule offline, so you never quite know if it's up to date. But we're going back to Loch Arran, and I was hoping to get a bus from here at 6 o'clock, and that says 6 o'clock, and it is 17:39. Happy days. Weirdly, it's like one of the most unsupplied bus stops that I've walked past. A lot of them have had people's like dining chairs and things in. That's okay. It's spoilt for a view. Here comes the bus. Woohoo! I love how islands can get it right and big cities can't. What? Wave goodbye. Right. Okay, fall over my thing. Before I do anything else, I want to go and look at the castle, and then we can figure out life from there. And this is the castle. Look at it. It's so stoic. Changing times, changing designs. Loch Arran Castle has had different forms through the years. It looks over the sea, which was a source of both power and danger. The current structure dates to the 16th century, though the first recorded building here was erected in the 13th century, owned by the McSweens. It was fascinating to see the castle's chimneys and windows, turrets and doors, and imagine the people who would have resided here, fishing in the bay and hunting in the surrounding hills. This sign says the original entrance was reached by a timber forestair and gave access to the first floor of the 13th century castle. Blocked up in the 18th century, note the remains of the 18th century windows lighting the basement beneath. I'm guessing that's these things. Interesting. Oh wow, it literally goes down to the shore. And to add to it all, there's some red deer just eating grass outside of people's houses. It's a very old looking building, isn't it? I'll be back tomorrow. Okay. Thank you. Yes, I undid it. I'm gonna come back here tomorrow night and I'm gonna camp tonight. Oh, so happy. So now all that's left to do is to go to the campsite, which is a 20-minute walk up the road, and collapse in a heap, quite frankly. No, if worst comes to worst, if they're shut, I can come back here, and all is good. I am so happy, so happy. I love backpacking. Did you know that? That's why I come out here all the time. I love it. Let's go. I was gonna have a dorm to myself as well, but nah, my tent's better. Oh, I found everything this side. Field studies, adventure activities, accommodation, guided walks and community events. Interesting. Here we are, Loch Arran caravan and camping site. Nice. And just there is a distillery. And there is a sheep. I was wondering if it's possible for a single person tent to stay. Well, and me, obviously. Not just the tent. That's it. My work here is done. Camping for tonight, hostel for tomorrow, and then we'll figure out the rest. The only thing I have to comment on is someone else has a Hillyberg tent. It's the Acto. Look at it, such a good looking tent. So where shall I go? So I'm just trying to work out which way the sun is going to rise. So it rises in the east and sets in the west, so it's going to rise from over here. So I think I'll pitch my tent facing that way. Here we go, camp is up. You can see I've just going through the usual evening procedure of getting everything out. And for this trip, I started using a pump bag for my roll mat. So one of my least favourite things about camping is having to blow that thing up, which is 38 breaths. Who's counting? So with this, you just blow into it and you get like 4 or 5 breaths in one. It's really, really cool. A friend of mine used it, or showed me how to use it when we were in Utah a week ago. And yeah, it's paying off quite nicely. So you get a whole load of air for one breath. It's like science. Job done. Getting ready to whip up a feast. I've got my perfect mash, cheddar cheese flavour. I've got my wilted wild garlic. It's gonna be good stuff. Cooking on the trail. That'll do. Ready to rumble. It's a tanker full of whiskey. Pretty cool. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye, bus. Oh, where are we, everybody? There's the bus stop. Woohoo! Right, my mission is to walk. We have something like 7 or 8 miles of road now, which is great. So, as you can see, the views across to Kintyre have pretty much all but disappeared. And yeah, just gonna get some miles in, get this walk to Blackwaterfoot under the belt, and the boots, and the bootlaces. And I don't know what I'm saying. Right, cross over. Face oncoming traffic because it's so busy. Let's go. Here's the lighthouse restaurant. Huh, the village store is open. Interesting. In memory of the Pirnmill district, or of the men of the Pirnmill district who lost their lives in the Second World War. This is what I meant yesterday by so many of the bus stops have these little like chairs. I mean, those ones will probably give you a splinter in your bum, but still, it's funny. You can definitely put your tent there. Some water flowing down, I can hear it. If you could get to that. It's a nice little pitch. Nice big pitch, actually. Nothing takes your mind off the crap stuff like the smell of a wildflower. And this blossom is doing the trick right now. It's just filling the air and I was like, oh, that smells nice. And I was like, oh, I got to sniff it. When people get you down, nature will lift you up. I've never before seen a pheasant on a beach. It's a first. The rocks are pretty interesting around here. You can see the jaggedness of this hillside. Pretty fascinating. This is gonna sound really weird, but this is one of those days where it feels like there should be penguins. Just penguins on the beach. Penguining around would be very joy-inducing in my life right now. Regardless, I've learned from my map that there's coffee about half an hour walk away from here. There's a cafe next to some burial cairns and chambers which are older than the Egyptian pyramids. How is that even a thing? I don't know, but history. And there are some stone circles as well. So I'm making a beeline for that. The walking's been extremely pleasant, just road, cliff, ocean, and yeah, it's just been really nice to let my mind run over things. And I've enjoyed seeing the wildlife as well. It's always a mixed blessing when it rains, because I can't film in the same way, but I can observe more or slightly differently than when I'm filming. So pros and cons, people, pros and cons. Right, I just looked up and spotted a bazillion caves in the hillside. Look at this. I'm hoping you can see that on my phone, but there's like caves and arches. Fantastic. Here we are, Old Buyer Visitor Centre. Shop, eat, play. They are all things I like to do. The nice thing about archaeological sites is if you go for coffee, they'll still be there when you come back, because they've stood for like 2,000–3,000 years. So a 20-minute coffee break shouldn't be the end of that archaeological site. Right, standing stone. 20 minutes later, who knocked down the stone? It's a pretty big stone, but it's still small on my camera. This looks promising and like a sanctuary on a rainy day. Here is the lovely murky water. I think we have some stone circles somewhere around here. I'm really hoping they're not too far off trail. Looks like they are. Oh dear, I don't want it. So Moss Farm Road stone circle. Oh no, not half a kilometre, 1 kilometre. Oh, do I have time for this?
We are back on the hiker maps, folks. So this is one of my favourite things about the Hiker app. So you download the route offline, and you've got here under options, points of interest and trail lines. So you click that, and then you can scroll down, and what you can do is you can mark hotels, hostels, B&Bs, campgrounds, and then it goes all the way through pubs, restaurants, shops, water points, and history is included. And look at this. So you click history, we're going to click close, and this is the stone circles. So you can click that. It gives you a little bit of information. Fingal's Cauldron Stone Circle. In fact, there's a whole bunch of different things going on here, which is absolutely ridiculous. So if I zoom out, what the app has done is basically marked all of the potential historical points of interest on the Arran Coastal Way, which is absolutely amazing. And then you can see I've also got the campgrounds marked on there, which I think is super, super helpful when you're looking for some accommodation. Hostel as well, if I click that, here we go, the ones at Loch Ranza, B&Bs as well. And this is such a helpful tool, both on and off the trail, to help you plan in advance with regards to your route and your itinerary, but also to make a backup plan as well when you're in need of some accommodation or something interesting to look at for the day. On the note of historical sites, one of the maps you can add, I mean, how cool is this, is the historical map. I mean, I just find this absolutely just ridiculous. But this, look at this. This is Arran as it used to be mapped. So you can see history, people. You can see where Brodick, how much that's sprawled and grown. You can see the potential paths up to Goat Fell that may or may not exist, the different contouring lines. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I just find it so cool, this historical mapping. I mean, currently I've got it overlaid with some of the other maps, but I think you get the idea. It's absolutely fascinating to see this old map especially when you're on the trail and it's entirely in situ.
I actually think I've missed the stone circle that I wanted to see, which is Glen. I did not see that. Where was that? I thought it would have been more obvious. So it leaves me no choice but to walk 1 kilometre extra, 2 kilometres extra. Oh dear. Sorry, stone circle, I'm gonna leave it. 2 kilometres off trail is not gonna give me enough time to do the things that are on the trail. We have some cool stuff coming up. That's why I've walked all this way, so I don't want to be rushing that. Let's go. King's Cove, cave, Knox Cove, cave, King's Cave. This way. Goodness sake. Instantly, this is different from anything else so far. We have coniferous forest, dense, dark, packed together, and sadly no bison in there as there were on the Danish island of Bornholm. Can't underestimate the power of just pausing and listening. A lot of backpacking is the sound of you walking forwards or backwards, but it's the sound of walking. It's a journeying procession. It's nice in the rain especially, I find, to just take a moment to pause and listen. The wind, the waves, the birds, the sheep. It's just the sound of nature, the sound of life, the sound of planet Earth. And as much as we need to protect and conserve physical spaces, it's really important to consider that we need to protect our air spaces as well. Yes, air pollution, but also sound pollution. We're not built to be surrounded by machines and man-made noises all the time, people-made noises. We're built to be surrounded by nature. And I think it's just one of the many, many reasons why, as people, we feel so much better for getting outdoors. Here's where the trail heads down to the beach and to the cave. Take this nice and steady, but it feels quite adventurous. I like it. Just like that, we're on the beach. So there should be a cave down here somewhere. These oyster catchers are not so happy about me being here. Sorry, I'm leaving now. Naturally, the cave is going to be in the rock here somewhere. I just don't fancy traipsing through this to figure it out. I'm gonna keep walking in the hope that it's more obvious. Having said that, Robert the Bruce was allegedly using this cave in 1307 after his journey from Ireland, so it could actually be really quite discreet because he was hiding in it. Find out, I guess. Right, this is not King's Cave, folks, but I had to show you this. I just glimpsed them through the grass. People have made a little shenanigan thing. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that before. Just up the road, this looks very promising. King's Cave. Oh wow, it's actually open. Let's go and have a look then. Oh, it's eerie by myself, but it's fine. I can do it. This is King's Cave. Well, I'm very happy to admit I'm not feeling super brave today. And the concept of going too much further in is a bit daunting. If I was with someone, I would still be scared, but I would be brave. And right now I'm not feeling super brave, which is ridiculous, to be honest. I mean, let me just get my phone torch out at the very least. There you go. There's supposed to be some quite good things in here. You're bright. God, it's not doing a lot. Can you see that? There's like... No, you can't really see it. Shapes and stuff. It's really not ideal filming conditions. I feel a little bit like a letdown. I know I definitely built that up, and I kind of thought there would be more carvings and stuff visible. I mean, I've just come from Utah, where there's the Native American petroglyphs, and pictographs, that's the word, which are far more prominent and pronounced and obvious and don't involve you going in a cave. But I also just realized, I think I'm just disturbed by the coast. I'm quite scared of water. I've been working on my fear of water for a long time. I started to scuba dive, like I really got quite far in taming the beast. And then in November last year, I had a diving accident, and it was choppy water. I nearly died. It was very unpleasant. And this is sort of triggering that a little bit on a physiological level. So I just want to look at a map, read the guidebook, and make sure I'm definitely happy to walk along the coast, because I think that's what I have to do now. So otherwise I can cut back up and walk along the road. Look at this, absolutely gigantic. But I don't fancy sleeping in one if the tide comes in. That's not my plan. I'm sure on a sunny day this would be fantastic. I'm not feeling it today. I'm not at all feeling sure if this is a safe route to do with the tides in mind. I don't know the tides. This is a bit daft. I screenshotted them for Brodick, but I never got any further. So I figured best thing I can do is just have a little look. It's very... Oh, my heart rate is up, man. I don't know why this happens sometimes. I just get anxious. It's what it is. I'm human. Let's have a look up here. There's a signpost up here. Signposts are helpful to boost confidence, although they don't take into consideration tide times, and my guidebook states that very clearly. Yeah, it says Blackwaterfoot. It also says if you're in an emergency. Let's just do it. Come on, be brave. I know you can barely see this because it's on the GoPro and not a good focused camera, but this is a rock and there's violets growing. That's so neat. Special. Second point of interest. I think you can see that. Fossil footprints. So supposedly there's some prints of this thing up here. Let's go and see if we can have a quick look. Right, so I've arrived at this little waterfall at the base of the cliff. I seem to be stood in it. And where the frick is this dinosaur print? Is that it? Oops, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Or is that just a hole in the rock? I don't know what I'm looking at. Also, how did anyone find this? If you can see it, congratulations. And here's a dinosaur print. I'm struggling on this one. I feel like I could be in the Amazon rainforest. Is it... Hang on. Is it this... I think it's this big blob. This might be the dinosaur footprint. Kind of makes sense, right? Ta-da! Geology. It rocks. So I think this is it. I'm going with this is it. If I tell you this is it, you'll believe me, right? And this is something else, and yeah, someone found that in the rock. I don't know how they did that. Congratulations. Alright, let's get out of here. The sad thing is that, you know, geology is the foundation, literally, of everything around us. The plants and everything that we see and base life on is formulated because of what goes on underneath our feet. But I just find it really, really difficult to understand. The time scales, the words are so long, there's lots of numbers, and I really do try and learn my geology, but somehow it still doesn't stay in my head. It's like a language, basically. Right, let's get out of the Amazon and back to being stranded on a desert island. This is best definitely feeling like the most wild part of the walk so far. It's not really helping me, I'm not sure. I really don't know what we saw, but I think we saw it.
On that note, what do you call a one-eyed dinosaur? Do you think he saw us? Ha! So good! Sorry, had to be done. Next up was the incredible tertiary sill known as Dune Cliff. The site was once an Iron Age hill fort, and it certainly felt like a dramatic spot.
You know, what's really special about this for me right now, and one of the reasons why I wanted to walk beneath these rocks, is because they're linking memories. Memories of my journey across the Isle of Skye and across Iceland as well. It's very similar rock formations, just strutting straight out of the land, almost like lightning bolts frozen in time. It's just fascinating to look at. Each time you glance up, you see something different. Whoever maintains the trails here, hats off to you, my friend. This is sound. Look at what they've done. They've full on like created a rock path through the rock jungle. It's tough work doing this job. I'm very impressed. Makes life a lot easier and, more importantly, a lot safer for folks like me. Can be a little bit clumsy after all. Ooh. These rocks, unlike the other day, are very slippy when wet. Oh, I suppose it wasn't wet the other day. Never mind. We made it to the other side of the hill fort, rock formation, lightning bolt, rock. Goodbye to that stretch of coast. You can barely see it in the distance. We've walked a fair distance today. And now we've just got to get around this final point to Blackwaterfoot. So nearly there now. Also, this sign to me really highlights the the dangers of golfers not knowing what they're doing. Danger! Golf course! For your own safety, use the shore path. Right, so 2 tides twice a day, washing you out to America is more safe than going through a golf course. Roger that. Clearly I had nothing to worry about with that stretch of walking or the cave. Oh look, slippery seaweed. Safer than a golf course. Help. It just cracks me up. I think that's got to be something I say now. When something feels like precarious, I just have to go, safer than a golf course. Like, I'm literally rock poling here, people. I'm not loving this. Absolutely mad. You can see, I don't know when this is, I don't know what tide this is, I don't know if this is storm, surge, mulch or something else, but this has all been tossed up here. Clearly it gets a bit wet here. Can I also just add, this is the beauty of rainy days. When things are unappealing and hard, so long as you're staying safe, you quite often end up with a story to tell. I feel like today, even though most of it's just road, I have a pretty good story to tell. Mainly of me missing the things I'm supposed to see, getting scared of the things that I wanted to see, being an adventurer in How to Train Your Dragon, and then surviving the horrors of a golf course. Yep, all in one day, kids. Oh, hang on a minute. There it is. There's Blackwaterfoot. Oh, happy days. We just have sand. Seems like a pretty good chance for some beach combing, because it's all seaweed. Never know Might find Excalibur 2 somewhere. There's a golf ball. What more proof do you need? I'll just put it there, because that does not look open. So now I'm going to try and just find some shelter for the next 40 minutes, try not to fall asleep, and catch a bus back to a dry youth hostel. It's quite a luxury.
It was easy to see the appeal of Blackwaterfoot on a sunny day, but for me, in the rain, I walked on by the massive hotel in search of a snack and somewhere warm.
Cinnamon knot. There is actually a cinnamon knot. Oh my gosh. It's my favourite thing in the entire world. And it's the last one. I don't believe it. It's rock solid. And they even do cardamom knots. That's crazy. Happy days. There we go. I'll admit, at this stage in the day, I'm feeling a bit battered. My waterproof is wetted out, so I'm quite wet now on my skin. And just because the wind's picked up, it's got quite cold, so I'm grateful for the shelter. Not long. Not long.
Alright, here's the thing. I didn't buy the cinnamon knot. Instead, the universe provided a stranger, also waiting for the same bus, who offered me homemade cookies. Now, I was brought up to be wary of accepting food from random people, but I was hungry and he seemed nice, so I ate them.
Yeah, it's nice spice in them. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't care, it works.
It's a good hiking food.
It was certainly a situation that made me smile a lot, and I'm so glad I chose to trust human kindness as we both waited out of the rain.
Until tomorrow. What a lovely chap. That was a pleasant surprise. I think this is one of the reasons why I love travelling. You meet nice people, you talk about banking and the crisis of being a young person in the country you live in, and you eat cookies they give you and hope that they're good to eat. I love life right now. And I'm absolutely stoked. They got very, very cold. But we're here. We made it. Back to the youth hostel. Woo! Made it. Have a wee place here. I'm gonna take this bed. I am fed. I am watered. Actually, I really need to drink more. I'm trying to dry my stuff out. There's a drying room here, but there's no heat in it at all. In fact, it's just as cold as outside. So I've actually just brought my clothes back up here, which is jolly toasty, because my fellow roommates have pumped on the heating. And I'm just kind of like, fine, I will compromise. We'll put the heating on and dry things out. So I've claimed the last little bit of space here, just these two. And yeah, fingers crossed things will dry. And now it's teeth and bed. And we'll do it all again tomorrow. I love the life. Sunshine. Hey. Morning everyone. It is day 4. The sun is shining. I'm gonna miss Loch Ranza. I can still barely remember the name because I'm not coming back this time. I am leaving for good. Gonna stay in the hostel. Gonna try and catch the bus back to Blackwaterfoot, and then we got a chunky day ahead of us. Let's bosh out some miles on the bus first of all. Hi, yeah. One thing I'm really coming to love with this is I can just stand anywhere and flag the bus down. So I'm just gonna stand here. That'll do, donkey. Good morning, sheep. Not sure where they're going, but to do sheep things. Oh, pay attention for the bus. Well, There's still no bus, and it's a bit confusing because it's a school bus, but it's 20 minutes late now. I'm just gonna stand here and see, but might try and hitchhike. But there's been not a single car come past on this side of the road going to Blackwaterfoot. Interesting times.
Eventually, the bus arrived, 25 minutes late. The bus driver was pretty grumpy, and it rubbed off on me a little bit. But at least I was now on my way to Blackwaterfoot, and the sun was shining.
We survived the bone-jarring bus journey. I'm so glad that it turned up. It was actually quite amusing. There was a kid who was like, oh, I'm just gonna place a phone call, and just gets out of their bag a remote control for a TV, and it was just so funny because she was so serious. So actually it was an entertaining journey, but we can see across the beach in the bay, which we walked yesterday. It's high tide at the moment, or the tide's just coming in quite late. The bus is 25 minutes late, so obviously that's eaten into today's walking quite considerably. There's a fair amount of beach walking today, and I've had to actually check the tide times. I've been a responsible adult and done that, and most of the beach walking I'm going to be timing it or hitting at quite a bad time. My goal is to just get as far as humanly possible today, use the daylight. Hopefully the sun will come out even more, and we'll have good vibes all round. Well, this all looks quite different from yesterday afternoon. Can actually see things. Look at that. Heading away from Blackwaterfoot, just past these houses. The monstrous hotel is just there. So bizarre. And we've got this track heading on along the shoreline.
Before long, the route left the track in favour of beach walking. Only the tide was not fully out, and what was accessible of the beach was exceptionally slippery due to the shin-deep piles of seaweed. It made for slow and frustrating forward progress.
Great.
After 20 minutes of persevering, I decided it was time to call it quits.
Nah, I have to call this here. I can't do that. I don't have time to fiddly faff and beachcomb through the sludge. So I'm going to, I think I just saw a footpath going back up to the road, and I'm gonna have to pick up the road, which sucks, but it just doesn't work with the tide. And after the storm yesterday with the seaweed, it's just gonna be too slow. I'm not loving the backtracking right now. Just taking this drive instead. I have to admit, if you've never backpacked before, you won't understand how frustrating this is. Like when you're doing everything on foot, every decision, every movement is energy, is time. It is really frustrating. Of course, it's just the coast, it's the weather, I can't control it, but the guidebook is not clear. And then you're like, why do I have a guidebook? I won't ramble on, I'm feeling grumpy. You get the point. Let's get to the road, and I think I'm just gonna stay on the road. It's reliable, it means I can move, and I can actually go in the direction I want to go in. At least we get that view. Nice mountains in the background there. I won't lie, it is amazing to be up high. The views, the sea, the breeze, the sun. This is epic. Actually really glad to be on the road. Blackwaterfoot, 3 miles. Interesting. So the route comes up here anyway. Goodness me. Look at that view, folks. the coast just stretching on as far as the eye can see, and Ailsa Craig, the volcanic plug sticking out of the ocean there like some Hawaiian island. It's truly spectacular. Wow, that is ginormous.
This gargantuan structure was the Lag Distillery, built between 2017 and 2019. It's a place famous for its peated whiskey, and I did indeed drop in for a coffee, not a whiskey, I must emphasise.
It's time to get off the road. Woohoo! Just for a little bit. So I can continue along the road or go down to the beach. So there's a chamber tomb, which we're going to go and look at. I'm not going to miss another archaeological site. And then I'm just going to go onto the beach for a couple of miles and then cut back up onto the road. And I need to keep making progress. It's still on my phone, on the hiker app which I'm using. You can predict how much time it says from one place to another, and it's still saying 6 hours to get to where I want to get to, and it's 1:30. And that's without considering the coastal stretch being slow. So let's just see. It is what it is regardless, but that's a rough insight into my plans, and I need to free fall down this hill now. Woo. Here is our turning off the road. Goodbye, tarmac. And then just around the corner we have this ancient chambered cairn, a communal burial site used 5,300 years ago. Get your head around that. And you can see this ceremonial entrance and then this cross section taken of the inside of the cairn. The way they did it is put slabs, chambers, and goes all the way out. Really cool. And it says burying the bones in a tomb was only the final part of a series of rituals marking a transition from a living world to that of the ancestors. The dead fleshed body was connected with the mortal world and seen as dangerous and polluting. It was thought that corpses were exposed on wooden platforms outside the tombs to be stripped of flesh by wild animals. Removal of the flesh released the soul. The bones were seen as clean, associated with fertility and holding an ancestral essence. The bones would then be placed in the tomb. Although bones were often sorted by age and gender, individuals became anonymous amongst the ancestors. I always find it so fascinating and important, the rites of passage that we used to have in life. Now, some cultures have managed to preserve them, whether it's birth or something else, or in the middle, or death. But in the Western cultures, death is sort of seen as taboo. It's not talked about, it's not discussed, it's not something that's actively witnessed. It goes on behind closed doors. We don't have a role in preparing the burial of our loved ones anymore. It isn't hands-on. And I think there's something to be said for experiencing that, because it's a way of really saying goodbye. And no matter what you believe about this life or another, saying goodbye and having closure is something that's so important for us as human beings. Otherwise we just carry things forwards in our fascia and in our spirit for the rest of our life. At least that's what I feel. So when it comes to leaving the people that they loved outside to be stripped of the flesh by wild animals, there's probably like a mourning process as much as anything else. And then you have the bones and you put them away in the chamber and you really do say goodbye. Let the ravens peck my eyes out. Ah, this just got weird. Kildornan, 5 miles. We're not going all the way on the beach, but Let's see how this goes. It looks epic. Wow. Yeah, I think we've timed this just right, folks. I'm just so glad we have at least this stretch of beach. This is what I thought the morning would be like, but it wasn't. We get it now instead. Yes.
The fact that there wasn't a single soul around and the lack of mobile service left me feeling like I was exploring a forgotten land. That was both an exciting and intimidating thing. A couple of miles on, and the sand started to disappear, replaced by boulders and bog, and as a result, the going started to get much tougher.
Rock hopping time. Oh, that's a big jump. Don't know if I can make that one. Let's try. I can. Good. So you can see that I ran out of shore. So I'm pretty sure that's a stile just up here on the grass. That's where I'm trying to get to now. Did you know ghost nets, aka discarded fishing gear, make up to 70% of the plastic floating in our ocean? Hashtag random but important facts. It's pretty wet here.
Things started to get a little uncomfortable as I lost sight of a clear route. I backtracked, I sidetracked, and I pondered. Was I in the right place?
Oh dear. Ow. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, rock. Grass. Oh gosh. Okay. Deliverance. Good. One rock at a time. This is one of the reasons I was not so keen on this. Is this really the route? Jeez. It is the route. I don't want it. Just keep moving, really. Oh, hello bush. Oh, spiky bush. Spiky hawthorn bush. Ow. It's not so great. This stuff is deep, like dangerously deep. As in I'm not feeling safe walking on this at all. I'm completely by myself out here, and I can't understate how that really shapes your thinking. You have to be careful. I have to be careful. I'm doing my best, but oh, it's so time consuming. It's insane. I'm only about 1 kilometre away from my escape route, but 1 kilometre like this is, I don't know what to do really. Just wondering if I can go around the other side of this. Quite possibly. Okay, let's try again. Definitely quicker than the bog. Just have to be careful. Not a problem. As slow going as this is so rewarding. Just being away from everyone else and the tarmac and just in the beauty of this stretch of coast. Alright, let's go around here, and there. Ow. Ugh. Good. Keep going.
Alrighty folks, it's time to get honest. By this point, I was feeling anxious. Really anxious. I simply could not capture how tough the going really was, and that hours were slipping by as I fought to find a way through. What did the passing time mean? The tide had changed direction. It was now on its way in.
Alternative route. Is this my alternative route? That doesn't look like an alternative route. Oh no. Please don't tell me it's a crap route. I didn't think I was at the escape route yet. I am. Right. Sorry, excuse my language. Supposed to be a track up there. Great. That's not good. That's not good at all. Oh, don't panic. Come on now. Right. Gonna walk on and we'll see. Time. Oh crap. That's bad. Hopefully I'll see a track in a minute and all will be well. Right, so I'm supposed to be right on the track that goes up the cliffside on the escape route. I'm not seeing that. Are you? Oh god, I don't like it. Alright folks, I've come back to this point. I am bloodied and bruised. I'm just gonna go through the bog. If the path is saying is this way, it's this way. So let's go. God, that's not fun. Let's just see how high we can get. I know I can do this. I just need to calm down, think straight. Okay, well, the nice thing is there's the odd footprint. Oh, hill. You know what, go up the water, because at least you know that it's generally not going to make you sink. Here we go. This is my trail. Oh, that's so unfun. Alright, just take a breather. Can you sense my panic? I panicked there. So panicked. Okay, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Even an experienced soul can panic.
Whew, yeah, that was unpleasant. It really looked like the escape route didn't exist, and therefore I freaked out that I was going to get caught by the incoming tide, walking forwards to a different path or backwards to where I started. But it did exist, and I walked slowly to calm my racing heart, thankful that I had made it out and away from the shore. It wasn't a great route. My legs by this point were stung and bleeding, and I had to wade for a shin-deep cow poop running off from a farm. I really didn't care though. I was absolutely knackered.
It's almost like they anticipate you being exhausted. They give you a bench. I have to just point out, if that sign hadn't been there at the bottom, I would have been screwed. So thank you, team. Might not have been an obvious path, but it was a way out. And an escape route isn't meant to be a leisurely walk, is it? I've taken my boots off and my feet are absolutely soaked, and the farm got them covered in cow crap, which is fine, but you know, this is funny. It's skin difference, the skin colour. Oh god, I'm so muddy. Hopefully I can find a brook to wash in later. So my suggestion to you, if you're going to do that stretch, is either just go down, enjoy the sand, come back up, crack on, or go down, make sure you log what time you come down, so then you can work on timings. I didn't make a note of what time I came down, which was a stupid rookie error, because then I could have worked out how long it would have taken to walk back. But the truth is that path does exist. It's just very, very wet and indistinct. So I clearly look quite miserable. A lovely man just drove past and then reversed back to check if I was okay. He had an NHS lanyard on. I appreciate that. You know, it really is the kindness of strangers sometimes that pulls you forward. So now, wet boots back on, and let's just walk. thing is about being higher up is we can see Plada, the island with the lighthouse, from an above perspective.
After my ordeal with the beach and the tide and being delayed due to the bus, I was now super behind schedule for the day and knew I wouldn't make it to my planned wild camping spot before dark. So instead, I took a deep breath, I recalibrated, and I set myself the goal of Seal Shore campsite at Kildornan, where I knew I could rest up and recover and make up the lost miles the following day. This decision enabled me to relax and get present and enjoy the soulful vibes of Arran once more. It truly was a magical place to be.
Caution, runners! My cousin has just landed on the island and is going to do this round the island race. Why take 5 days when you can do it in 24 hours? Madness. That's a spectacular view. And the campsite's right there. Seal Shore campsite, part of the hotel. So as you know, I'm heading down to the campsite. And I'm really just relaxing into this decision. It feels just like, again, I'm not living up to what I want to live up to. I've not made it as far as I wanted to make it, and now I'm having to fall back on staying at campsite. But it's not exactly a flipping bad thing. I mean, I'm right on the shore here, looking over Plada Island, and it feels like a cop-out. I don't know why, it feels like I'm not being like hardcore enough, but I've come out here to walk around an island, 65 miles, I'm sure it's more than that, before an operation, and I just need to be grateful for every day that I've got. And this operation is a massive transition point in my life. It's a big deal. Like, I'm never going to have this body ever again, and I'm really excited for that. But that's why I can't mentally be completely wiped out either, because it's going to be very mentally taxing, this operation, as much as it is physically. So campsite it is. It does feel kind of cool. I just know that I'm going to relax and sleep well here. I can have a shower, I can get this poop out of the cuts that I have on my legs, and just be like, yep, cool, this is what this journey is for me. My last trail in this body. It's crazy. Oh, also, I just messaged my cousin, and she's possibly going to run past me tomorrow. I'm just like, that is so crazy. She lives in Weymouth, like the south of the country. I live in Somerset, the south of the country, and yet somehow we've both ended up on Arran at the same time, and she's doing the 24-hour race and is running south and potentially going to run right past me. I just can't believe it. It's pretty cool. This is the beach we would have arrived on, having traversed all the way around that headland. This feels like a good decision already. It's so peaceful. Oh, I love it. Home sweet home. Not bad at all. You have no idea how much I've looked forward to this today. Just getting these seaweed, sandy, cow poo, bog juice, sweat boots off. Oh, relief. Good morning, folks. It's day 5 on the Arran Coastal Way. It's the final day on the Arran Coastal Way. I don't know how it's the final day already, but it is. So I have yomped back up from the campsite to where I poked around yesterday on the trail, and now we're into new territory.
Having rested and recharged, I set off with a renewed vigour in order to reach the 4 PM ferry from Brodick. At the same time, I wanted to make sure that the time pressure didn't impact my sense of enjoyment for the final day on the way.
Wow, I am so grateful. I just yomped past this. There's a tiny little brook going underneath this stretch of path, and this is where I'd scheduled my wild camp. That would have been uncomfortable. Meanwhile, I seem to have found a big hole in the earth. I knew on the map it said workings, but oh, there you go. You could pitch in there. We have a freestanding tent. Where did you sleep last night? In a quarry. It's quite cool. That is the Holy Isle, a very sacred piece of land throughout history. Now what's really exciting is we're going to end up about 700 meters away from its shoreline. No, I'm not swimming, but when I stand on the peninsula that my route is going to take me on, we're going to just be so close. So I'm really looking forward to getting there. But the Holy Isle has just played host to all sorts of different religions and faiths and people of spirituality for hundreds and hundreds of years. There's evidence of the Vikings there as well, making use of the site. And nowadays it's owned by a Buddhist community. There's a Buddhist centre on the shore, I think the North Shore. And I have to say it's very alluring to want to check it out and feel the energy there. I wonder if it's a very calm, grounded place.
Speaking of calm and grounded, the forestry track certainly felt very mellow, passing a number of waterfalls before reaching the Giant's Grave. This is the site of 2 Neolithic chamber tombs, and although robbed and looted and somewhat dilapidated, excavations had found pottery shards, flint knives, leaf-shaped arrowheads, and fragments of burnt bone. It was certainly an evocative place, looking out over Whiting Bay to the south.
Really beautiful forest this morning. I saw one red squirrel, which was super nice. Well, I feel like this morning has already been jam-packed with excitement, from the campsite to the graves to tracking my cousin on the running app thing. Anyway, we're just crossing over the burn, which becomes Glen Falls, and we'll see that in a minute. We've got to do a bit of a switchback. It doesn't look very big, so I'm not really sure what to expect. No. How did that happen? Oh no, I missed the turning to the falls. What is with this? I thought it would have been signed. There's meant to be a path here. There's definitely not a path here. Fine. I'm glad I walked back up to check though. Glen Ashdale is off limits for me then. The waterfall. I feel like I must be missing something. Like there's a little waterfall here, but there's no way that can be it. It's in the Glen. I'm so confused. I'll show you these ones instead. This nice little burn coming down the hillside. Right, I officially name this little waterfall Glen Ashdale Falls 2. Enjoy it. It's lovely. Very nice. All right, let's just get down to Whiting Bay. Rest a while. That's nice. I just cannot believe the craziness of it either. I'm tracking my cousin and she's gonna hit the bay probably just after me, but I'll be walking towards her and she'll be running towards me. Madness. And just like that, we've made it to Whiting Bay. Wow. And Holy Island just looks like a part of the mainland. Yeah, I'm not sure how much beach walking I'm gonna do right now. There's the first runner. Runner number 2 coming in hot.
Whiting Bay proved to be a vibrant place, not just for the running event, but the number of independent shops that it boasted. They were just begging to be explored.
Well done.
Cheers.
This is just the video now, it's just runners coming past. There's nothing else to film, but there's everything to film. Look at this scenery. I'm not even looking for seals. Well done, folks. Oh look, they might have coffee. Looks promising. Maybe I'm gonna accidentally go this way. Ah, you're the perfect salesperson. They have coffee.
Coffee is fantastic. Best on the island.
Yeah?
Yes.
Best on the island?
Yes.
Oh, I'm all over this. Thank you. I'll park my rucksack, I think. Oh, look at all the packaged free stuff. That's so good. Oh, I love it. I finished my coffee. It's time to move, but I'm gonna walk along the racetrack. It's got to be done. I was just checking the live tracking and not far now. Right, let's go find my cousin. Hey Charlie.
Charlie, you come this way.
Hey Charlie. He's a good boy.
Actually, even the passer drive up, I noticed that a bit.
There she is! Hey! I can't believe this. That's right. Well done. Yay! Yeah, good. And you? Hey.
Hi,
Nice to meet you. How you doing? Is it going well?
So far, so good.
Good.
They're still smiling.
I love the
Smiling at
blueness. It's amazing.
It has to be blue.
Yeah, yeah.
It was even blue earlier until I took my other leggings off.
Oh, well done. I don't want to stop you, but well done.
Thank you. And well done on your walk. Anna.
Thank you. Yeah, see you. Bye. Oh, it's so good. It's like a 2 seconds hi bye to my cousin, who I haven't even seen this year, and it's April. But still, go Abbie! Right, now I need to actually cover some miles because that ferry is leaving without me. Goodbye, Whiting Bay, you stunning place in the sunshine. Let's go and check out Holy Island. Ah, coconut. Oh, hi Charlie. Where's your human Charlie? Hey Charlie. I'm just gonna squeeze past you. Good Charlie. Oh, this is lovely. That is just magical. So beautiful. Oh, and so close. So this site that we're walking to at King's Cross Point is significant for so many reasons. But one of them, which I just find particularly fascinating, is that archaeologists uncovered the remains of a Viking cremation site. So the charred remains of boats and human remains and pottery shards have all been found here. And never mind all that, the view. I was just talking to a couple there, and I think the word I need to use to describe this view is painful. It's just, it's too nice. It's like, how can it be this beautiful, this stunning, this, what synonyms can I find? Holy Island just striking a pose, and then all the way around the coast to Lamlash, Goat Fell on the horizon. And it's just the best thing about this is we're walking it. We get to walk it. It's just the best way, in my mind, to experience the vibe of a place on foot. Human-powered adventure. Happy, happy, happy. Oh, goodness gracious me. It's criminally nice. Oh, that's a pretty dog. Oh, you're so pretty. Get it! Yay! Okay, one more. Get it! Have a nice walk. Spring sunshine just makes everybody smile. The entire community is out celebrating the race, celebrating the beauty. It's a massive monkey puzzle tree. Gigantic. I just dropped my walking paws and this lovely man is in a canoe at the best possible time. Kayak.
I don't come up here every day, you know.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. What's the best way for me to get to you? Probably over here, I think. Thank you. I can't believe that. Hold on to everything else. I think I can get down here.
Up here.
Oh, cool.
I know for a while.
Oh, fair enough. Maybe today. See?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you,
walking.
Andrew. Take care. Right, that happened. So I just leant my poles against the fence here on this bridge. They fell into the water just at the time that lovely Andrew the kayaker was coming along. He saved my poles. I was going to film the heron. Heron's gone. Oh good, let's go.
With poles firmly in hand, I made it into Lush, the last settlement for the route. It was a lovely hub of a place where everyone seems super welcoming and friendly.
Check out this sign. So this is detailing the Lush Bay no take zone, which is all about protecting the marine life. Basically no fishing of any kind, but yes to water sport activities. Pretty neat, hey? As testament to the no take zone, there's a seal haul out zone where the seals come in and rest up, and I think I can see one. So I've seen 4 of them. 2 are on rocks and the other 2 are sort of just circling around trying to claim a rock, I think. So good. Look at this, an old World War II pillbox looking out over the Holy Isle. Gosh, that would have been an exposed spot in the winter. And then this is it, this is Clochlan's Point, the last point that we have to round, with the little Hamilton Isle just there, covered in seabirds. I lament having to catch this ferry, and I lament having to leave. It's just been such a wonderful, wonderful time. Arran has worked its magic. I love this place so much. Even on the rainy day, I just was like, this is amazing. The energy here is so grounding and enticing and healing.
A short while on and I reached the final fork in the road. I could drop down to the shoreline towards Brodick or head up high onto the cliffs. I opted to climb, inspired onwards by the prospect of big views.
I feel like this shot surmises the Arran coastal way. Cliff, ocean, mountain, goat fell.
It was a surreal feeling to be so close to the end of such a fulfilling adventure, and my heart felt as though it could explode with the joy at the journey I had experienced. Little did I know though, the story was about to take a turn towards the fishier side of life.
Ah, there she is, the summit. Ah, we did it. That was quite a steep climb. Boom. Oh no. Oh, that's not how this is supposed to go. Ah. It's not okay. Great! Come to Scotland, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Well, I was going to use this moment to do my closing speech, and I think I still will. Despite the fact that I have fish guts on my hand. Let me just cautiously take my sunglasses off, because eye contact is important. Folks, this to me feels like a very important place to wrap up this film. Why? Because Goat Fell is just over there, and really that's how we started our adventure. It was on that summit. It was windy, it was wild, those gusts were absolutely insane, and we might not be quite that high right now, but I'm alone, and I know that going down into the village is going to be carnage, especially with the ultra race on. And I just want to take this 5 minutes to just thank Arran for spoiling me rotten. It has been an unbelievable journey. I could not have planned a more wholesome experience if I had tried. And I think truthfully that's why I didn't plan. Because Scotland just has a habit of giving and giving and giving, and the islands especially. So long as you're willing to show up and put the work in, they are such amazing places. The people, the landscape. And I think, you know, Arran has just completely taken my breath away time and again. It's a land of coasts, of mountains, of fields, of wonderful people, of amazing ancient history, of raw, untamed wildlife, of bird poo on trig points. And you know, I think there's only really two things that have surprised me about this route. One is the amount of road walking, but as you've seen, these are not busy roads, they're very quiet country lanes, and truthfully I've chosen the roads quite often over the shoreside path, because that was my second thing. The shoreside path has been harder than I thought it was going to be. Just covered in seaweed and slippy and a little bit more hostile, I suppose, than just yomping along the road. And I suppose the third thing that surprised me about this route is that it has been harder to wild camp than I expected. And you know why, you've watched this film. But all of that aside, I just feel like my journey has been full of highs and lows and a real rewarding sense of adventure. And that's the thing, adventure is subjective. If you just show up looking for one, you're gonna find one. My mission is to inspire and empower people to get outside for the benefit of mental and physical health, whilst giving back to the natural world and to each other. So it's about receiving and it's about giving. It's about energy coming in and energy going out. And I feel like I've come to this place and I have given it energy and it has given me energy. It's been such a reciprocal experience. And everything in nature is a metaphor for the life that we live as human beings here on planet Earth. The wind and the rain, the storms, they come and go. The sun and the beautiful evenings, they come and go. The wildlife comes and goes. And too, we come and go. And that is why it's so important that we grab this life by the horns and we have fun and we get out and explore while we can. No one's ever going to care about our lives any more than we do. It's our life. It's our story. So open up the pages and start writing. But honestly, thank you. Thank you for journeying with me along the Arran coastal way. All I have to do now is get down to the ferry, still try not to miss it. I am still watching the clock. It is time to go. And thank you too for showing up for yourself by watching this video, loading your pack and getting out the door. Remember this, believe you can. Get up, get out, and spend more time in the wild. Until next time, I'll see you soon. Stay wild, folks. I need to wash my hand now. It stinks of fish. Disgusting.
And with that, I set off to complete my loop of the Isle of Arran, with bees and wildflowers leading me on through the sunshine. The mountains and the moors, the cliffs and the beaches. This was a place that had totally captivated my spirit. With Goat Fell watching over me arrive back at the shores of Brodick, I knew it wouldn't be long until I returned to immerse myself once more in the wild beauty of the Arran Coastal Way. Oh, and in case you were wondering, I made the 4 PM ferry, which was an absolute relief because the later ferries for the day were all cancelled. Seamless, folks. That's what that was. Seamless. Farewell, Arran, until we meet again. can't wait for the next adventure.